Niggas, we got a problem. So there's been a lot of talk about UFC 318 recently, and honestly, I've been thinking about this card over the last few weeks, but only now I've decided to do a video about it because I was too lazy to make one before, and everyone else is doing one. So, like, Bedtime made one, so fuck it, let's join the train. But yeah, this card is fucking horrible. Bedtime had the audacity to say that this card was mid, but I think that's being generous. This card is so fucking bad. And what's worse is it's not like the main event's even something we've been begging for. Like, we've already seen this fight 2 fucking times already. Are people that excited for it? Fuck me. Don't mind the noise in the background. I was just making some healthy pancakes that are literally just like banana and strawberry. Because unlike that fat fucking slob MMA Joey, I actually take care of my body and eat healthy. Unlike MMA Joey. Plus, I got a fight coming up soon, which, depending on how that goes, I'll tell you how it went. But, yeah, anyway, back to what we're talking about. UFC 318 is a fucking abortion. Like, the main event isn't even a fucking championship fight. I can't believe I'm saying this, but if the card is what has been announced, like if that ends up being the main card, this might actually be a worse pay-per-view than UFC 312. And that's saying something because that card was bad. At least that card had 2 championship fights. I know one of them was a women's fight, but it was a way late fight. Like, I'd rather that than a Valentina Shevchenko or a Juliana Pena or, God forbid, a Raquel Pennington fight. At least there was a championship main event and there was some demand for this. This isn't even a fucking championship fight, and it's the same fight we've already seen twice. I don't know why they made this for Dustin Poirier's retirement fight, and as a fucking pay-per-view. If you want to do Holloway Poirier 3, fine, but don't put it on a fucking pay-per-view. This should be a fight night, honestly. Unless it's Conor McGregor, I'm under the opinion that we should probably just save pay-per-views for championship fights. Unless it's like Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira 3, that probably wouldn't need a belt to headline. Unless it's a fight like that, this fight should not be headlining a pay-per-view. Especially with a card underneath it that's so fucking shit. At least the last time the UFC tried to give us a BMF main event, they at least gave us a good card underneath it. And honestly, I think they should have just done Poirier Gaethje 3 for Poirier's retirement fight. Hell, I would have rather they done the Poirier Hooker rematch. I'd rather that, or even him versus Ilya, than doing the same fight we've already seen 3 times and Poirier's up 2-0. Like, if he loses, you're going to ruin that for him. And if he wins, it's like, fuck, Max lost to the same guy 3 times again. But let's take a look at this card. Starting with the main event, why did they make this fight? Like, seriously, we've already seen it 2 times before. Poirier's up 2-0. There's no reason why they had to make this fight, yet alone for a fucking pay-per-view main event for a bullshit belt. Like, Poirier versus Gaethje 3 was the fight to make. If they were gonna make Poirier Holloway, which they fucking did, couldn't they have just put this shit as like the co-main event and then just had Pantoja main event? Because then that way people would actually watch it, even if it's Pantoja headlining. Or even as like the co-main or feature fight on International Fight Week. Like, they could have just done that. Or just made it a goddamn fight night. Like, honestly, this card should just be a fight night. Because Poirier, don't get me wrong, he's a legend. But that doesn't mean he should be headlining a pay-per-view in his retirement fight. The amount of former champions that didn't get to headline a pay-per-view in their retirement fight, like Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo defended his belt how many times? And his retirement fight was the fucking feature fight of a mid-ass pay-per-view. Shogun Hua's retirement fight was on the fucking prelims of UFC 283. Like, there's so many fighters that have actually won titles that don't even get this. Like, I love Poirier, but I don't know if he should be a pay-per-view main event for a non-title. And looking at the rest of the card, why the fuck is Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen the co-main event of a pay-per-view? A fight like that is usually the co-main event of a fucking Apex card. We got Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson, the fight everyone's been waiting for. Adam Fugget, or whatever his fucking name is, versus Islam Dulatov, the guy I've been hearing so much about, this new prospect. You got Ikram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira. You got Jimmy fucking Crute on this card. Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. That's actually a decent fight. And also Patricia Pitbull and Dan Ige is supposed to be on this card. That is such a fucking mid card. Like, not even mid. That's a horrible pay-per-view card. Like, at least UFC 312, they put a fucking championship fight as the main event. As bad as that card was. And now they're so shameless that they're literally giving us a non-title fight as the main event. Like, Jesus Christ. I swear to God, if they put Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes as a fucking main event of a pay-per-view, my God. We've already gotten 2 generational bad cards this year. We're getting 2 generational bad cards this year. Please don't make it a third UFC. Usually the UFC, whenever they do these bullshit BMF title fights as the main events, they at least have the audacity to stack it. Even if you look at previous fucking cards, like, let's take a look at UFC, what was it, 244, Masvidal versus Diaz. And the card was actually pretty stacked for the time. You had Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie, who was a big prospect at the time. You had Derek Lewis versus Blagovi Ivanov. He's not even in the UFC anymore. Wonderboy versus Luque, Till versus Gaslam, and Jorge versus Diaz as the main event. This is actually a pretty stacked card. And not only that, all the fights delivered, or kind of. Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie was a highlight reel KO. The main event was awesome. Wonderboy versus Luque was a clinic. Derek Lewis versus... I can't even be bothered to pronounce that. Was a good fight. Till versus Gaslam was alright. But overall, it was actually a stacked card. And on top of that, Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz are bigger pay-per-view draws than Max Holloway are. And even then, they still stacked the card. Hell, even the prelims are pretty good. You got Jairzinho Rosenstruck versus Andrei Arlovsky, Edmund Shabazian versus Brad Tavares, Shane Burgos, and then Johnny Walker versus Corey Anderson. And this was actually the end of the Johnny Walker hype train. This is back when people thought he was the guy to beat John Jones. Remember that narrative? But yeah, even the prelims are fucking good. Probably because this was also a Madison Square Garden card. Even those have fallen off. The MSG cards have been shit the last couple of years. Remember when the Madison Square Garden cards used to be stacked? Anyway, then looking at the last BMF card, we had Poirier Gaethje as the main event, Pereira versus Jan Blachowicz as the co-main event, which I was hyped for, Derek Lewis versus Marcos Rodrigo de Lima, you had Bobby Green versus Tony Ferguson, Kevin Holland versus Michael Chiesa, ew. But anyway, we were also supposed to have Paulo Costa versus Ikram Alaskarov, but you know the deal with Paulo Costa, so that fight didn't happen. And Wonderboy versus Michel Pereira was also supposed to be on this card, but Michel Pereira missed weight again, so the fight got cancelled because Wonderboy didn't take it, which I guess is fair, but even with losing 2 fights, the card still was really good. Even on the prelims, we had Roman Kopylov on the prelims, and Gabriel Bonfim, I think, was on the prelims. They stacked the hell out of this card. Even when it fell apart, it was still good, and the fights all turned out good. Pretty much every fight was a finish except the co-main, and even that was a good fight. So yeah, what the hell is going on with these fucking... The UFC as a whole is just falling off. How about that? Take a look at this card. This is a fucking fight night card, and this is better than a fucking pay-per-view. Like, I'm being serious. This is actually better than UFC 318. Like, people say that all the time, that fight nights are better than pay-per-views. Like, certain cards when it's a bit of an exaggeration, but this is dead set better than UFC 318. Like, the main event of 318 isn't even a championship fight, so that card may as well be a fight night main event anyway. The main event, I will say, Whittaker, honestly, you know what? Fuck it. Whittaker versus Dorita is a better fight than Poirier Gaethje. Poirier Holloway 3. Fuck, I'm falling asleep. Because we've already seen Poirier versus Holloway 3 fucking times. Well, this will be the 3rd time we've fucking seen it. I'm tired of these rematches. I swear, this has been the year of pointless rematches, and now Yair's getting a title shot, which leads us to the next fight. Movzar versus Aaron Pico. Fuck me. Movzar's been done dirty. I hate the cunt, but seriously, this is just embarrassing. I'm praying at least they make Volk wait for like the end of the year for the winner of this fight. Like, if they actually make him fight Yair, I'm actually going to be so pissed off. But yeah, and then you got Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. Why is that not on 318? That's a fucking pay-per-view worthy fight. I mean, maybe not for Marcus McGee, but Petr Yan is a fighter that belongs on pay-per-view, or at the very least the main event of a fight night. Put him as a feature fight on a fight night. Come on. The guy was a former bantamweight champion, and he's on a 2-fight win streak. Put some respect on his name. He should have been on UFC 318. Like, can they move him? Bryce Mitchell versus Syed Nurmagomedov. That's a pretty good fight. Shara Bullet, the face of inbreeding, versus Marc-Andre Barriou. Free win for Shara Bullet. Then Nikita Krylov versus Anthony Smith on paper. Come on, this is better than 318. Could they not have moved some of these fights? Like, if they're going to put Aaron Pico against Movzar, like, if they're going to force Movzar to fight Aaron Pico, could they at least put him on a pay-per-view? Come on. The UFC don't mind giving shit cards to
the rest of the world, but whenever the fucking Saudis pull out the money, they'll happily bend over for the Saudis. That's the only reason this card is stacked. Now I'm starting to wish they do put all their cards in Saudi. Sorry, Abu Dhabi, or wherever the sand people are from. They should just put all the cards there from now on. If it means we're going to get good cards. Sure, we'll have to wake up at 5 a.m. or I'll have to wake up at 5 a.m. all the time to watch these fights. But if it means we're getting good products, maybe the Saudis should just step in. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. The UFC is fucking falling off. Like, they are running this company into the ground. And UFC 318 fucking sucks. Like, that card is just dead in the water. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov has been moved to UFC 318. Fuck yeah, the card is set! Woo!